Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast, live stream, episode number 76, Sunday afternoon, April 28th, 2024. God damn, this month went by fast, man. Appreciate you joining us. I do have some big news. Typically, we don't cover a lot of Apple topics. However, we do cover the big ones, right? And this, I think, is a big one. It's the first time we've seen the iPhone 16 in real life. And boy, is it something to see. Surprisingly enough, they didn't change the design. Well, I'll take that back. Technically, they did change the design. But we'll look at it here in just a second. Let me make sure I'm streaming. Hey, what's going on, Ashton? Appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much, sir. Let's see. Let me make sure. I'm gonna promote my new website. Hang on. Let me set up a banner here. I rarely use them, but what the hell? Let's create one real quick. What's the name of the website? I got so many I forgot. Damn it. Oh yeah. For the latest tech news and reviews. All right, give me 1 second. Let's show that. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, sorry. We'll get rolling. I know we got a lot of people that watch the playback, so don't want to get too delayed. Thank you for everybody for joining us. If you're watching the replay, I do appreciate it. I'm actually streaming on all across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 YouTube channels. Also on Twitter at eSIM Studios, Instagram eSIMs. I actually changed my handle, but it'll be eSIM Studios, and then Facebook eSIM Studios. So if you're on any one of those platforms, go ahead and give us a follow. You can take us anywhere you go. We are streaming our podcast. eSIM Studios podcast is on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the YouTube Music, anything you think of, anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Simply type in eSIM Studios, and we shall pop up. I'm also Ashton. I was gonna get a hold of you. I'll probably message you this week. I got a little behind on our plans. I'm also gonna turn. I got a bunch of YouTube channels. Some of them are just sitting there. I don't do anything with, which is why I'm streaming from them right now, just to try to get some kind of traffic on there, but in content going on. But I'm actually going to transform one of them. Not going to give away everything, but I'm going to transform one of the YouTube channels into a multi-purpose platform. So we're going to have sports shows. We're going to have I'll do a technology show on there. This is going to be on one YouTube channel. We're going to transform it into a everything channel. So we'll have myself host tech shows. Also, me and my co-host on the Chiefs Studios might do a show on there in regards to sports. Ashton is going to get involved. So we're going to have entertainment shows. We're going to have sports. We're going to have tech. What's not to love? Sports, tech, and entertainment. Sounds like a good YouTube channel to me. So look forward to creating that. So I'm going to start working on that here behind the scenes, and I'll obviously promote it here once we get rolling. And once we get that up and running, I got to revamp the channel, all new graphics and links and all sorts of stuff, but that's nothing. I can do that with my eyes closed. It just takes a little time. All right. Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be I was just thinking about this last night. It's gonna be a badass channel. We're gonna have sports, tech, and entertainment. Can't beat that. So shall be fun. Let's see. I do have the new iPhones leaked, right? Let me pull this up. And shame on me because I did not have the share screen ready, but I'm gonna do that right now. So the new iPhones leak. Now we've had previous iPhones. Typically they don't leak. And don't get it twisted. Leaks. All these leaks, whether it's a Samsung device, whether it's an iPhone, whether it's a Nothing phone, which I'm actually surprised. The Nothing Phone 3 is coming out here in just a bit, and there's been nothing. So I'm actually surprised. They've been doing a really good job of keeping that under the wraps. But the less employees you have, probably the less leaks you're going to have. Leaks come out for a reason. As I mentioned, don't get it twisted. This is not like somebody breaks in Apple headquarters at night when 2 or 3 in the morning in Cupertino, California, and they sneak through the window and they're doing some like Mission Impossible stuff underneath the alarm LED lights, where they're like dropping down from the roof and going into the office and stealing these pictures and running out, and then they post them online. It doesn't happen like that. These leaks come directly from the source. So you'll see every now and then when a hot phone is about to release, you'll see Samsung leak some of their own stuff. So like or vice versa, when the new Samsung was coming out, what did Google do? They leaked out information for their new Pixel 8a. They leaked out information. Oh, we have a new color. Oh, here are the leaks. Here's what it looks like. They make it look like they basically put it out there. They have a source. So somebody at Google, somebody at Apple will have a source. Typically, not all the time, but most of the time, it comes from the source. I think the Pixel 8 Pro leak that we had, like literally the day before it came out, where we saw it had the matte black back, because we were wondering, is it going to be a flossy back, smooth back, or is it going to be a matte color? The matte color leak came out one day before. Now, that was typical, because that was from somebody in India. It looked like at a family gathering, everybody was barefoot, eating, sitting around the food, eating, and somebody just held it up and took a picture of it. Now, obviously, Google didn't leak that. These phones are actually, a lot of these companies are starting to manufacture, meaning put together these phones in India. Apple has a new manufacturing plant in India. Google's got a new manufacturing plant in India. I believe Nothing uses India, I believe. I know OnePlus does. So a lot of the times, look, the security might not be as high tech as it is in some other countries. And every now and then you'll see a phone, leave with one of the employees for the day. And then they'll go home and take pictures of it and basically put it up for sale. Or they'll reach out to some of these leakers that are on Twitter or on X, say, hey, I got pictures of this new iPhone. How much money will you give me for it? Stuff like that, where they'll take pictures and sell it. That happens sometimes. Majority of the time, it comes from the manufacturer. And now, with this leak, I might need y'all's help, because I'm not sure where this one came from, but it looks to be real. Looks to be the real deal. Now, let me move this over here. And why can't I share this? Here we go. Go to esimstudios.com. That's where I get that's where I post personally, write articles, post. I I do everything. I do everything on here. Articles, reviews. I have my podcast links on here, video and audio. Also have the learn how to unlock your iPhone for free, and also have these broken into sections where we have general news, Android news, iPhone news, PC news, what have you. You get the idea. It's not rocket science. Putting it together might be rocket science, but it's gotten much easier. But check this out. So enough said. Let's get into it. So here is. Can I make this bigger? What the hell's going on? Here we go. So here are the new iPhones. iPhone 16. Now, you have... Can y'all see my cursor? Yeah. Now, y'all have the iPhone 16 Pro Max on the left. We'll get to the news that it's making today. We have the iPhone 16 Pro here in black, second to left. You have the iPhone 16, the base model, iPhone 16 right here in pink, second, third from, second from the right, yeah. Anyways, it's in pink, you know what I mean. And then the iPhone 16 Plus here in black on the very right. First glance, doesn't really look like a big change, right? You look at it and you're like, well, it's an iPhone. But there are some changes. There's some subtle changes. Now, Apple's been getting very sneaky, very good at keeping the same design language, but adding new features, physical features, to the device that at first glance you see it, you look at the phones, you don't even notice it. But the features that they do add are, I guess, I don't know. Look, the dynamic island, it was really cool when it first came out, and then you start realizing its limits, and it is what it is. It's not that cool anymore. The captivative button on the side, where you can program, physical button you can push to program to either open your camera or start a FaceTime call, what have you. Even that's limited because there's only a small handful of apps that even work with that button. It's not like you can choose any app in your phone to program to that button. Cool nonetheless, but limited. Now, first glance, what do you see? Anything different? Anything different? What I see is, now look, what I see, I was going to get to the obvious, but let's hang on to that. Is the cameras. Now, the Pro Max and the Pro basically look the same. I mean, as the 15. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up 15, iPhone 15. Okay. Now, here you see where the difference comes in. What's up? Can I click on that? Can I not? Damn, can I zoom in on this or can I not? Son of a bitch. Y'all see that? Okay. So, iPhone, let's look at the Pro Maxes, right? Basically look the same. They have the 3 cameras, the 3 sensors on the back, triangular shaped, and they have the camera island. So not the sensors, but the actual material that surrounds it. The camera island, it's an island that encompasses the sensors, right? Looks fairly similar. Flash, same. And the microphone and the sensors look to be in the same place as well. Now let's look at the smaller ones. So you have the 15 here on the left, 15 plus second from left, these 2 pink ones. You can tell there is a difference in the design change. So these cameras are offset, right, left. Top one, you got the top camera that's in the very top left, and then you have the secondary camera staggered off to the bottom right. iPhone 16, they are straight up and down, right? There's no staggered sensors or nothing. Let me see. There is a camera island. You do have the flash and mic at the bottom left, flash at the top right. And then on the... It almost looks like they're going backwards because if I'm not mistaken, the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus will look like the iPhone X or iPhone 10, right? Because that's how the 10, that's how the 11, and that's how the 12. Actually, you know what? In 13... Wait, when did they do these staggered cameras? I think it was at 13, 14. I think they did staggered cameras. So 13, 14, 15. On the base models, you had these staggered cameras. But iPhone, even iPhone 10, 11, 12, they had the same design. So they're going back to the old camera design. You know, one of the... why do they do this? Why do they do this? And if you really want to know my honest opinion, it's money. Now, when I say money, why do I say money? Well, if you kept the same design every single year, people would not have to buy new accessories. People could use the same cases that they had from the previous year on the new model. And look, and Apple's not the only one to do this, right? Samsung does this. Nothing, I guess, really hasn't done it yet, but I'm sure they will. OnePlus, every manufacturer does this. So I'm not just banging on Apple for doing this. It's an industry-wide deal. I think the closest one I got was the S22 to S23 Ultra. S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra. Cases would fit. They basically moved, what was it? I think it was a flash. Almost identical. I think they just barely moved a flash somewhere, like off to the right or off just a millimeter or two. Just enough to where you had to buy a new case. But I actually have a video out. It's like a year ago. It's on my page, my YouTube page. The case from the S22 will fit S23. It's just half of the flash is blocked. But no big deal. But I believe that's why they do this. They want you to buy new cases, new accessories. Look, if you total up all the accessories Apple sells from the iPhone 15 series in 1 year, I'm talking to all the phones, you add up, I'm not necessarily, even screen protectors, right? I'm not sure they can do too much here, but we'll get to one change here. But from model to model, it's not necessary. The screen basically kind of remains the same, but cases, just cases. The things are expensive. You know, some of those are 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks. I've seen some iPhone cases that are like 80 bucks. Now, I'm just talking about Apple. I'm not talking about the third-party accessory companies. And that may be another thing. The accessories companies want Apple to change the design every year because that means more people buying cases from Spigen, more people buying cases from Nilkin, Otterbox, right? More and more and more. So they're encouraging Apple to change the design so they can sell more cases. But getting back to my original point, if you add up all the money from just case sales from the iPhone 15 model, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Remember, Apple sells like 80 to 90 million iPhones a year. So even if a fraction of that number, even if a fraction of those people buy a Apple product or a Apple case, Apple branded case, millions upon millions of dollars. So they're incentivized to change stuff. But going backwards, I'm not sure if that was the best move. We've seen this before. It literally looks no different from an iPhone 10, 11, or 12. Now the 10's more rounded around the sides, and this one is going to be more square design, right? Just like some of these Android phones you have here. So it'll be more flat on the sides, but just to the naked eye looking at it, exactly the same. Could they have put it off to the right Yes, that would have made big news because that's it. It doesn't seem like much, but any little thing Apple does, like even this right now, is making the rounds today. So this is making news. Even them going back to an old design. So they're in a weird position where literally anything they do is going to be scrutinized. But let's move to the big news of the day with this design change. Up top, these are the screen sizes. So if you look at the iPhone 16 Plus, 6.7 inch display, same as S24 Plus, same as the Nothing Phone 2 and the Nothing Phone 2A, same as the Pixel 8 Pro, same as the iPhone 15 Plus last year. So the screen size does not change for this year's iPhone 16 Plus. iPhone 16 base model, 6.1 inch display, same as S24 base model, same as S23 base model, same as the Pixel 8, same as a lot of other phones, as well as the iPhone 15 base model last year. So the iPhone 16 model this year, the base model, will not see a screen size change. Now, iPhone 16 Plus, 6.3 inches. Forgive me for not knowing this spec. I don't know what the screen size was of the iPhone 15 last year. Pro. Ooh. Okay, so there we go. 6.1 inches. Hang on 1 second. So you do get a screen increase. You do get a... Yeah! God damn it. Hang on. Yeah, y'all know how that goes. Okay. So, screen increase this year. 16 Pro gets a 6.3 inch display. Last year was a 6.1 inch display. So you do have an incentive to possibly upgrade, right? If you have not had the Pro model, or excuse me, if you do have the Pro model, say if an iPhone 15 Pro looks the same as it does every year. Look, if they keep, I think this is a smart move by Apple. I think it's a strategic move by Apple. Actually, I think it's a fabulous move by Apple. Just that 0.2 inches makes a huge difference in the look of the phone, in the feel of the phone, in how you hold it in your hand. It makes a big difference. Even 0.1 inches makes a big difference. I know, sounds silly. 0.1 inches, you're like, well, that's literally like this. 0.2 makes even a bigger difference. So it does make a difference. Trust me. I can tell. I use multiple devices all throughout the day. It makes a huge difference. So, big move by Apple, increasing the screen size with the iPhone 16 Pro to a 6.3-inch display. Now, what do you get? Not only will you entice customers that have the iPhone 15 Pro this year, saying, "Oh, you should do a little bigger display." And you know what? That was actually, I think I have the iPhone 15 Pro over here. Just trying to read it. That's for case reviews, but it does seem a little small for a flagship device. Now, I know lots of people are anticipating this new Pixel 9 Pro. It's going to be a small flagship device with all the bells and whistles. I like small, but look, I'm recording on a 6.1-inch display in Samsung Galaxy S22, 6.1-inch display. Rather small. When you're holding S24 Ultras all day, when you're holding, even the Nothing Phone 2A, it's a big phone, 6.7-inch display. 6.1 seems a little on the small size, in my opinion, for a $1,000 device, right? And look, you may have differing opinions, and that's fine, right? But for me personally, I think this is a big move because 6.3 up from a 6.1 is a slight improvement. You can't do a 6.2 you can't go from a 6.1-inch display on the 15 Pro to a 6.2-inch display on the 16 Pro, because in customers' minds that maybe upgrade, maybe not, that are on the fence. Like, it's just 0.1 inches. It's not that big of an improvement. That's why I believe they went one notch further and did a 6.3-inch display, because it's just enough to make a difference. Look at how much a little taller it is. Now, again, I know it's not that big of a difference, but when you hold it in your hand, it does pause. It makes a difference. Another feature, another good bonus, another good aspect of increasing the screen size, you got more real estate inside the phone to increase the battery. So you'll get bigger, better battery life. I know, actually, I don't know. I've heard some people say the 16 Pro gets good battery life. I've heard this 15 Pro gets good battery life, and I've heard some people say not. But I don't know. If you have an iPhone and you're watching this, I'm sure this will get some iPhone users. We'll get some iPhone users views on my channel, or eyes on our channel. Most Android, but let me know. Let me know in the comments, how's your battery life? Because just adding another 0.2 inches, you can squeeze another 500 milliamps out of a battery, which, look, in the end could probably mean, it depends on usage, I don't know, probably another hour maybe, depending on usage, right? But you get the idea. So you get a bigger battery and better battery life, a little bigger display so stuff looks better, a little more real estate to edit videos, do all that stuff, pictures if you're into that, or just watching eSIM Studios YouTube channel, right? You get bigger display to watch our daily live stream, right? Now, let's go on to the even bigger news. Over here on the left, always got to save the best for last. See this iPhone 16 Pro Max on the left? The reason why I put this front and center, you know, it's big news when I put a Apple topic as the number one main discussion. Look at that. Look at the screen size above that iPhone 16 Pro Max on the left. 6.9 inches. 6.9 inches. That is enormous. That is huge. Like, when I saw that, I thought it was I didn't think it was real, right? I've heard rumors. I saw one other rumor, and I think I mentioned it a couple months back, or maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, that they were thinking about increasing the display size, but there was nothing really. There was no evidence to support that rumor, but it looks like it is in fact true. These are dummy units. Now, These are units that Apple will manufacture, and it'll look exactly like the production model. Apple uses these to pass around in the office, right? Basically, you can see there's finger grease here on some of these black models. That is a nice black. I do like that. So they basically manufacture them. They get down to a look. These are designed way in advance, right? So they've probably had these things take a good 3 years from thought to paper or computer, from computer to manufacturing, or excuse me, not manufacturing, from computer to testing units, which these are dummy units, from dummy units to testing, from testing to manufacturing. So they'll pass this around in the office, in the boardroom meetings, and I'm sure some of them will now. I'm sure some people will throw them in their pockets. They'll hold them around like a real phone, but it doesn't operate like, you cannot turn it on. It's basically, it weighs the same as it will, so they'll put weights in there. It'll have buttons that work. They just does not turn on. Now, when they get a little more deeper into the process of getting closer to launch date, sure, they'll manufacture some dummy units that are like the real thing, that turn on, have the operating system on there. And then that's when they'll start testing battery life. They'll start testing displays, applications, cell phone signals, Wi-Fi signals, all that good stuff. But from the report that I got, these are just the dummy units. Now, they probably already have some testing units out in the open, out in the wild. But here you go. This appears to be the real deal. So 6.9 is huge, right? Because this phone that I have here, Samsung S24 Ultra. Now, I was ironically using this phone yesterday. I've been using it more without a case, which I normally don't do. But I'm trying to now. If I leave the house, yes, I'm putting a case on it. But sometimes I'll rock these with no case. I'm getting a little risky, right? I like the way they look. I love the way they feel. But I was just thinking yesterday, God damn, this is a big phone, because I was trying to text, or I was trying to write something, right? And I couldn't. I was holding with my left hand, and the phone is so big. Now, look, I don't have like King Kong hands, right? I don't know. I'm what, 6'1", and average hands, right? And I struggle to hit the enter button, or to hit the, you type something up with one finger, and then you struggle to reach over there to touch the send button, right? So you got to kind of toss it around in your hand to where you can maneuver to touch the send button. This is a 6.8-inch display. 6.8. 6.9, ginormous. And I guarantee you, it's going to weigh like a brick. The base iPhone Pro Max, I think the 15 Pro Max right now weighs more than the S24 Ultra. So you add on another, 0.2 inches, and it's going to weigh even more. So we're looking at a ginormous iPhone. That'll be the talk when these get released. They're going to, oh, bright. Look at how this big, bright, beautiful new display on this Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max. Oh, this 6.9-inch display. Oh, this 6. Apple's gonna, that'll be the talking point of their keynote, right? For the launch of these, their Retina whatever display, 6.9 inches. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but it's huge. It does matter. I mean, what about men, right, that are just smaller than I am? What about women that typically have smaller hands? And that is basically because this is right at the border of too big. Honestly, the perfect size, absolute perfect size. 6.7-inch display, and that's why it's used so much, across so many different manufacturers. 6.7 inches is the kind of the I don't know, what do you call it? The class of the size for flagship plus models. 6.7. Perfect. Big enough to have a big display where it's beautiful viewing, good to edit photos, videos, do whatever you need to do. But it's small enough to where you can actually use it with one hand. Yes, you can actually use this phone with one hand. And that goes to tell you how much just a 0.1 inches makes a big difference, or 0.2 inches makes a big difference, as in the 15 Pro and the 16 Pro. Because I can use this with one hand. 6.7 inch, nothing phone 2A. I can barely use this. I gotta hop it around in my hand, maneuver it to touch all of the buttons on the screen, and this is 0.1 inches bigger. 6.7, perfect size. I can use with one hand. 6.8, I can use it with one hand, but I got to do some tricks to use it with one hand. So this is a huge improvement, and of course they're going to increase the battery size because you're going to have more real estate inside. Of course, you're going to get better battery life, obviously, as we mentioned with the 16 Pro screen size. But that's big. Now, excuse me, I got to plug this in. It's about to die. 1%. So, let's see what. Yeah, appreciate you joining us. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold is huge also. Yes. Now they're going to drastically change not just the way it looks, but they're going to drastically change the dimensions of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold or aka the Fold 2. Because you remember how the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold, current Z Fold 5 and upcoming Z Fold 6, and Samsung's actually changing the dimensions of the Fold 6 as well. But the current Fold 5 Samsung, the one that folds open like this, it's more tall and slender, right? The OG Pixel Fold was kind of short and fat, right? It was a short and fat device, sort of like the Oppo. The Oppo device was almost like a square. When you open it up, it was almost a square. Now, when you fold it in half, short and fat, not so slender. With the Fold 2, what they're going to do is they're going to make it more like the Samsung style. Now, they're not going to make it as tall and skinny as the Samsung device, but they're going to make the Fold 2 a little taller and a little slimmer. And actually, Samsung is doing the same thing. Samsung is going to make because when you close it, right, when you close the Samsung Z Fold 5, it's basically like a little stick, like a remote, basically with a screen on it. And that's why I just can't get down with those foldables. It's just too weird to operate, right? If I want a foldable, my perfect foldable, and maybe the OnePlus Fold, or excuse me, the OnePlus Open, I got raving reviews. Everybody loves it. That might be the perfect design. Now, I haven't used one, but my perfect fold would be for a phone to look and act like a regular phone. When you're holding it, it just simply opens up into two. I think once they finally hit that sweet spot, when they can get the dimensions just right, is probably when I'll pull the trigger and get a foldable device. Now, I've used the flips, the little clamshell design that open up like an alligator mouth. I love those. They're just not that durable. But let me show you what we're talking about with the Fold 2, aka Pixel 9 Pro Fold. All right, so the old school one, see what I mean right here? See how short and fat it is? It's short and it's wide, right? So Google is actually here's a good you can tell different. So look at this one that the dude's holding right here. It's short, meaning it's not that tall from top to bottom, and it's fat, meaning it's wide from left to right. We'll jump over 2 spots and look at this picture. So this is the Fold 2 and/or Pixel 9 Pro Fold. They've added height to it, so it will be taller, and they've actually made it a tiny bit thinner. So it actually does kind of look like a regular phone when it's closed, and then when you open it up, it'll obviously be opened up into something that looks like this. Now they're making it thinner, which is good, and they're going to make it with flat sides, so it's going to look, like all these other flat-sided phones, which is, in my opinion, it's a good thing. But we've kind of veered away from the iPhone talk. But let me look and see what last year's model. Let's see what size that was. 6.7 inch. So their Pro Max, their biggest model, is 6.7. Huge jump. I think this is going to make big news everywhere. And I can't wait to see people freak out on YouTube. Basically, not necessarily complaining, but, that's going to... At 6.9 inches, I would not be able to use that phone with one hand. And I doubt there's very few people that buy it that will be able to use it with one hand. I mean, we're talking maybe 1%, 2%. I mean, these are people with big hands, right? I mean, I think I have average hands, and it's just flat out too big to use it with one hand. So, and then, look, that's a pain in the ass. I know you're not supposed to use your phone when you're driving, and I typically don't. But when I'm at a red light, I'll look down, look at my notifications. I'll change the song, podcast, YouTube video I'm listening to, and then put it down, when the light turns green. But you're not going to be able to use that with one hand. You're going to have to use 2 hands. Or if you have a mount, obviously you can use it. But I'm talking about typical usage, right? In the house, in the office, at the movies, at a park. What if you just want to take a picture? Pain in the ass with one hand. You can do it. In fact, I've gotten rather good on some of these devices, but that's the other thing. This is just the dimensions. This is a square. You can double tap the camera button and maneuver it in my hand to take a picture. With a phone that's bigger than this? Not sure. Let's see what the battery size was last year. 4,400 milliamp hours. So with that 0.2 of an increase, not only of the screen, but of the overall size, right? And you get a good comparison. So if last year's Pro Max was a 6.7 inch display, and this year is a 6.9, here's a perfect example. Look how much bigger the Pro Max looks over here on the left compared to the 16 Plus on the right. Because remember, this on the right was the same size as the 15 Pro Max. So that's going to be that much bigger. I mean, we're not talking a little bit bigger. That's a huge increase. Yes, 0.2 inches. Huge increase. Some people are not going to be able to use this phone. I mean, that's just flat out not going to happen. Or be able to, I mean. So, interesting to see them go this route. I don't know if they wanted to get a one-up on Samsung. I don't know if they wanted to have the biggest and brightest, best display possible, which Samsung might very well manufacture. I just don't know. I know the Samsung does manufacture a lot of parts, specifically the screen for Apple, but I don't know about this upcoming model. We'll look into it once it gets a little closer to launch time. But that's a big freaking phone. Let's see how much this weighs. Oh, going back to the battery real quick. If the last year's model was a 4,400 milliamp hour battery, they'll probably bump it up to 5,000, I bet. I bet they bump it up to 5,000. And because all the latest and greatest flagship Android devices, the big ones, all got at least a 5,000 milliamp per hour battery. All of them. So I think this would put Apple up there with them. With the battery sizes of Android flagships, it would also leapfrog the Samsung S24 Ultra. Is that the biggest display on any phone? Let's see. So what's the big... Okay, well... Yeah, I should have known that. But so I Googled what's the biggest display on a phone. Google popped up the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 is the biggest phone. It says Android phone, but obviously Apple doesn't have anything close to this. It's the biggest phone you can buy with a screen size of 7.6 inches when it is unfolded. 6.2 inches when it's closed. You can tell the difference, right? Considerable difference right there. That's about it, I think. LG Stylo 6, 6.8. So it looks like what's going on, Bama fan? Appreciate you joining us, sir. It looks like most big phones have 6.8 inch displays. So this will not only get Apple up there with the flagship batteries of the Android world, but it appears it'll also leapfrog, not including the foldables, and then that's kind of cheating. But this will leapfrog and best any big Android screen size at 6.9 inches. God dang, that's huge. I still can't get over that. Because then you think, well, then what's next? 7 inches, a 7-inch display next. Man, I think we found a sweet spot at 6.7, but Samsung with their pen with the Ultra moniker, 6.8 inch. Look, there's a big difference between the S24 Plus and S24 Ultra. Huge difference. But there's only a 0.1 inch screen size difference. So just a perfect example. You can tell right here, look. Tell the size difference, right? I mean, it's big, and then it's wider too. You can basically put this whole phone behind here and hide it. So, perfect. Yeah, I love mine too, man. And that's what I was saying a little earlier. I think. Well, I know the 6.7 for me, and I think for most the world, 6.7 inches is the best size for a large or plus or whatever, big phone, small phone. 6.7, best size in my opinion for a big phone as far as usability. You can use it with one hand, easy to hold. It's big enough to do all the tasks you want. Big, nice display. But the Ultra, and I think that's why Samsung has got such a lock when it comes to big premium phones, because just that 0.1 of an inches makes a huge difference on screen size, meaning it's almost too big to where I can't use it with one hand. I still can, but you got to maneuver it a little bit, right? But you get a beautiful display, plenty of room to edit videos, edit photos, do whatever you want on here. I mean, just a fabulous device. It's gonna be hard to beat. I don't think the iPhone. I know Apple has got this phone in their crosshairs when they're developing their new iPhone 16 Pro Max to be so big. They just want something to say they got something better, bigger and better than Samsung, basically. Because look, I think Samsung would even tell you 6.9. I would be surprised if Samsung in the future, look, 10 years in the future, I don't know, maybe, but like in the next year or two, I don't think Samsung's moving away from that 6.8. I think they've found why try and fix something if it's not broken. This is the flagship of Android, flagship of phones, period, in my opinion. Can't really beat this. This does everything. And I think Apple has this phone in its crosshairs when they made those changes on this new iPhone 16 Pro Max. They want something bigger. They want something better. Bragging rights, I guess. But I still don't think they will come close. May come close, but the S24 Ultra, definitely the best phone you can get. Yeah, it looks really good. This was the mint green color. It's hard to tell in the lighting. And some people don't like this. Kind of looks white, but it's a mint green. It looks really nice, and actually has a dark, almost, it's not black, but it's real dark gold or dark titanium look all the way around it. Very nice. This is the color I wanted, and this is the color they sent me, so I got lucky on that, because I've had tons of black phones, I've had tons of white phones, and I didn't. They had a red version. What was it? Orange, I think. That I wasn't too wild about. It was too bold, right? It's too much. It's too. I don't know. I think it's right here. See, that's the mint one that I have. That's right. They had a orange one on the right, and they also had like a sky blue one. But look, I already have a sky blue Pixel 8 Pro. So I was like, I could match it, but I really want the mint green one, and they sent me the mint green one. Blue. Although I don't think you can beat this color, this white. Of course, it's see-through. Badass. News as well. It appears nothing's coming out with a new color for their 2A. So they have a black version, they have a white version, which you got here, and they're coming out with a blue one. Although I've seen a green one. Before we get out of here, I gotta get out of here. Before we do, oh yeah, and I have this one, purple. And it doesn't really look purple. It looks more, depending on what light you can see it in. It's not like it's a weird purplish blue metallic color. So it's not too girly. That's why I was like, damn, it's going to look like a girly phone. But, definitely not that. But real quick, let me get out of here. But check this out. I want to show you something real quick. We're going to go to news. So check this out. It appears we have a blue. Now this looks cool. I don't know if it's going to be available worldwide. I don't know if it's going to be available only in Hong Kong or India. But that looks cool. It's like this one. And it's got see-through glass, right? But it has a blue color to the inside of the phone. So I don't think the glass is blue. I think it still has the clear glass. I just think the inside is tinted blue. Which looks cool. Although I think the white looks a little better. But I do love this color combo they got here. It's going to be like a flip art exclusive, probably. Flip art or Flipkart is like the I'm not gonna say it's the Amazon of India, because they're more focused on electronics, but it's on kind of on that same level, not necessarily as massive as Amazon is on a worldwide scale, because obviously Amazon's in every country in the world, well, almost, and I think Flipkart's only in India, but I take that back, India and Asia. Well, I guess India is in Asia, the continent, but let's see, same phone, just different color, it looks like, so nothing new spec wise. That's about it. So we got, let's see, special blue edition of the Nothing Phone 2A on April the 29th, tomorrow. Exclusively designed for India and will be sold through Flipkart. So, it's only going to be sold in India. Now, if you really, really, really want one, you can find one, right? Probably wait a couple weeks and you'll see them on eBay. So you can definitely buy one. And look, if they're going to offer this one at $350, same as they did this one, who knows? They should though. It's a steal. Now, may have to pay a little extra just to get it off eBay, because somebody's buying it in India and flipping it on eBay for a profit, so probably have to pay a little more, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all joining us on this. That light is too damn bright on this Sunday afternoon. There we go. Sometimes I wonder if that's too dark. Yeah, that's right. I believe that's about it. I think that is it, folks. I'm trying to go through the news here to see. Is there any new news? Hit the refresh. I don't see any. So, appreciate you joining us. Wait, what is this? I did this earlier this morning. It's nothing. Let me go to my third website to see if there's any news. House of Dragons. Already got that. That appears to be it. Pixel 8a. Let's see what we got here. Not much. Just a picture that appears. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's it. Don't see much else going on. I will see y'all tomorrow. I am going to try to live stream just real quick. I'm going to try to stream a little earlier. So look, it's like 7:45 my time. It's too late for me. I don't know, but y'all schedule a little too late for me. So I'm going to try to get them try to get these started every day at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Not 1 minute late, but knowing me, I'm gonna be late. I'm late everywhere, everything I do. But 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm gonna try to start them every day at that time. So try to keep them around about an hour. So probably from 4 to 5. I'm gonna try to stick to that schedule every day, 4 to 5. So appreciate it, guys. Let me get out of here. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.